Hello, my bookish darlings. I am the booktube goddess, the number one drag queen booktuber on YouTube. And once again, we are going to do the Israeli versus USA book cover battle. Only this time, I am joined with a special guest. Moon Books is here.
Hi.
Okay, Mooney, could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Okay, my name is Moonbook, and I do like my blog, which is moonbook.bookblogger.com, and I'm from Israel, and I read mostly in English, but sometimes I love to see books, and sometimes it's weird when I see books in Hebrew, and I said, hold on, it sounded mine is something, and then I realized the book from English.
Well, I am so appreciative of you supplying these great book battles, because I know they're annoying to put together. You have to search for the English version and the Israeli version. And we are here for the next round of books. And I know you're going to be here to help me with the Hebrew if we need it.
Also, I can just read the same, if it's the same name, I can read in how it sounds in Hebrew, because sometimes things can sound familiar, but not really.
So I am pulling up the slideshow you created. And the first one is The Great Gatsby.
It said like Gatsby Agadol, like it's mean like Gatsby the Great, because in Hebrew like we switch between the verb and the noun. Like first of all the noun and then the verb in Hebrew.
Okay. Or adjective.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, looking at these covers, I don't know if you know, but the USA version was actually a little bit scandalous. Because if you zoom in on those eyes, they're actually naked ladies.
Oh, I never noticed that until now.
I kind of really like the USA version. The Israeli version, I don't know why they went with that olive green. Maybe that's sort of...
I don't know. Like I tried to see because my parents own it, and I see like where the covers are like, oh, it's just from a model from the 1920s.
Yeah, it's true, because the dress is very 20s. This woman figure.
And that's all they said. Like, this is all they said in the synopsis of the cover. Like, oh, a woman from the ad from the 1920s. That's it. Nothing else. Not who designed it, nothing. I tried to search on Google, nothing.
Do you actually like The Great Gatsby? Is this a book
I actually read it a few years ago. I didn't like it, but I think the issue is for me, like, I realize all the books sometimes when they publish, like, all the time, like, sometimes the English is harder, and also sometimes you might miss the time. Like, in my school, we had to read Crime and Punishment, for example.
Oh, that's a big one. Cool.
Yeah, it's a big book, and I asked my dad, like, hey, can you help me read it? Because I cannot read it alone. Like, I don't understand. I know a friend of mine listening to the other book in Russian, but I still, like, I need help. And then my dad tried to help me read it with me, and he actually realized that this book, it published in the 19th century, and now the 21st century reader will not understand the stuff that he went for, because we don't know. And like my friend said, you didn't finish it? I said, like, yeah, like, they were shocked. Like I said, like, yeah, it was hard. I'm a reader, it's hard. So for me, like, the Gatsby, like, I didn't realize very well, maybe because, like, how it was written, also because I didn't understand the characters. Like, I'm just glad when I finished it. Like, it took me like 2 weeks.
I actually really like The Great Gatsby because it is called the Great American Novel, but the good thing about... Well, let me back up. The best way to read it is with a group of people that are like in a class.
Yeah, that's what I felt as well, like when I read it. Like,
yeah, because you have to understand that Daisy is the American dream.
Yeah.
Daisy is supposed to be sort of superficial. She's beautiful, but there's like, she's kind of mean underneath, she's vacuous. And Gatsby is supposed to be the all-American man that's chasing the great dream, or the American dream, and never getting it. And he does everything. He changes his name. He changes his life. He gets rich. does criminal activities just to get the American dream.
Yeah, it's on the West Side Story, like the Song of America and West Side Story, actually.
Exactly. So anyway, I'm going to pick the USA version. I like the classic. I don't understand what's going on with the. I understand it's a 20s woman, but
yeah, me neither. Like, it's like, hold on, I know this book. Then I'm like, why they chose the green one? And like, like, it's weird. Like, I didn't understand either.
Okay, moving on to. I don't know this book at all. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I'm assuming this is a romance?
Yeah, it's very popular on BookTube and Book Talk especially. Like, the good thing I know is like in Israel edition, it said like the content warning and also like it's about dealing with sexual assault as well. So in the end of the book in the novel, I actually got a chance for my friend and I realized like in the back page that there was like, here if you need help, if men for victims, sexual victims, like, hey, if you need any help, here's some websites and stuff like that. Also, the Hebrew edition said some stuff as well, like I can explain it soon.
Well, tell me what it says on the cover of the Israeli version. I see there's.
It said the same title, like Itanu Nigmar, and that's the name of the title. But it said as well, לפעמים מי שאוהב אותך הוא מי שהכי מכאיב לך. Like it means like sometimes the person you love who is the person who hurt you the most. That's what he said.
Boy, it seems like a depressing book.
Yeah, the weird part, like I have a friend of mine, she read it, and like I asked her, like, you know, I saw her the different covers. Like I said, I remember it was really simple, just the title alone in the cover. Like when I saw her, like the color, like, said like, wow, that's really different. Like she didn't realize it's originally from English, the book, and I thought like, why do you think they changed the covers? Like I don't know, I think these are people like British covers, people on the covers, like. Yeah, but why do you like the cover? Which cover you prefer? She said, like, actually I prefer the Israeli one because, like, there are people there. And, you know, it's about romance.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with your friend because I don't really like this type of USA cover where it's just, you know, the title and the author and then just some sort of abstract, in this case, broken flowers. It looks like, I like the Israeli version because there's people on it. That,
also, you know the genre, like you can guess the genre immediately. Like for me, for me, a romance. If like you don't realize it's a romance, like for me, like yeah, guys, please don't give me a romance recommendation. Sometimes I got that, like I need some cover to judge it to know if it's a romance or not.
I am definitely giving this to Israel, even though romance is it's not.
Yeah, but best of the cover alone.
Okay, let's move on to the second or third one.
Yeah.
Animal Farm, a classic George Orwell, another happy book. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. This is another depressing book.
It's actually a translation in Hebrew. It said like a new drawing, and actually in this new translation, it said also the artist name is Chris Mulad or something like that. If I'm not mistaken. Sometimes it's have Nikud and sometimes I don't notice when it is. Yeah.
Is that the translator's name?
No, that's the artist who drew the stuff, like the cover.
Oh.
It's a new translation and a new art stuff, like because I saw like a different cover when I was younger, but I saw the new cover and I actually prefer the new ones, and actually it was looking like interesting. Like, said, oh, that's so interesting. Like, hold on, it's Animal Farm. Really, I can read it in English. Because unfortunately in Hebrew I will say that most pages is like this I draw it, but white with black, and like the white page with black ink text, and for me like my head had pretty quickly after 100 pages of reading this. It's like manga pages, but the colors never change in new publishers in books, and like so I just want to read in Hebrew, but I cannot. Because then I need to go books, like very old books, and like sometimes like I don't understand what happened there at all. Like my friends sometimes laugh at me. Like I still remember we had to read in literature class one time a story, and luckily for me, I read Edgar Allan Poe before, and I knew how he described death in Gothic literature. And like after we finished it, my friends asked, "What happened in the end?" Like I said, like the character died, and the teacher said exactly, and I said, like, "Wait, what? I was correct." I just guessed here, guys. Like, I was 90% sure I was lying. I didn't understand anything in the book. Like, besides the time she died. That's all I understood. And that's why it's really hard for me to read in Hebrew, but I try to return it now this year. Like, in 2023, maybe I try more.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Of these two covers, I haven't seen this USA version cover. And I have to say, I like the illustration in the Israeli version so much more interesting with the hill and the windmill. I guess it's supposed to be the barn.
Also, it seemed like darker. Like you can see it's dark, but also pretty in a way. Like
yeah, and whimsical.
Yeah,
I think the USA version, those chickens are just too real. It just kind of freaks me out. Chickens.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, we're giving this one to Israel.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is Shirley Jackson. We have in the castle.
Yeah, and in Hebrew it's a tamid garnu batira, and we and live actually sometimes can combine like the we and like the verb and like which person you attach to it. So that's why. And in the castle, batira, like we combine the inn and the castle together.
Okay.
I still not understand why in the castle is like in red. I mean, tell that. Like when I said like, why you put only one thing in the title in red?
Yeah, they're both. Well, I have to say, I like the USA version a lot.
Yeah.
The illustration. I mean, they're both women holding a cat, a black cat.
A black cat.
And but I just like the USA version illustration a lot more. The Israeli version, it just looks like they got some woman saying, "You pick up that cat and take a picture of her."
Yeah. For me, like I still bored of the fact that the title somehow decided to, let's put white, and red.
I know.
Like, I know some of my friends have OCD, and I know this is something that bothers them sometimes. Like, but like, I don't understand why they put the red. Like sometimes, why do you put only one? You can put all the title in red or just one. Put all of them in the same color.
I agree. I mean, the red does stand out, but why that one? Okay, next one. I don't know this novel either. The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett.
It's a retelling of Passing, the story of Passing. I don't remember the author name, but it's like about two twins that can pass as white, but one of them live in a white. She married a white person, and the other one married a black person.
Got it. That's interesting.
Yeah. In Hebrew, it said like "achatzi hane'elam," which is like the vanishing, the half. And also it said like a quote from the time that the Vanishing Half is the best book of the year from Time. And also it says it's a part of series of a pretty literature and a bestseller like in the bottom.
Okay. Well, they're too similar. I mean, they're kind of like this abstract thing with the two faces molding together, but they're just different styles.
Yeah.
And I like the USA's colors. I like all these different colors with it. But I kind of like the Israeli version better. I don't know why. It's just with the overlapping hair, and we see one dark and one light skinned, which makes sense from what you told me about the story. I just like the artwork better in the Israeli version.
Also, I just noticed like behind the girls, there's like it's a black but with orange and white in the background, if you didn't notice.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Well, the background in the Israeli version just looks like hair. Just like a continuation of the hair.
Actually, yeah.
The USA version is cool though. I like the color blocking. But
Yeah.
I'm just drawn to the artwork of the Israeli version. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, The Princess Diaries. You know, I haven't read this one. And
I actually just watched the movie.
I like the movie. The movie's good.
Yeah.
But looking at these covers, I don't like either of them. But
Also, in the Israeli cover, we said that they said like it's for teens, like it said Tirim next to one of the romans. Also said part of the diary. I know how to read it. Probably I will find my sister copy somewhere someday. But also they said the publisher, like in the black square, they said like, it said the publisher, like it's called הוצאת הקיבוץ המאוחד ספרת הפועלים, which is a publisher name in Israel. Like I know that for sure.
okay, so that's just the publishing name in
The black one, yeah, and the orange one said the Tirim, like, which is teens, I think, or young people.
Got it. Well, like I said, I don't like either of these covers. I mean, the USA version just looks like something someone put together in Photoshop.
Yeah.
In this version, at least we have two people. I guess the grandmother and the granddaughter is the princess. And there's, I mean, both of these are bad.
One of them said it would become a movie as well. So also one of them said seeing the backdrop of a city.
Well, I guess that's true, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Israeli version. At least they tried. Oh, I've read this next one. The next one is Lee Bardugo's Six of Crows. What's all this written on the top of the Israeli version?
The Israeli cover said like the author name, Lee Bardugo, the author name, and underneath it said first place in the bestseller of the New York Times bestseller list. One thing I will say about this cover, this came out like a lot of years ago, and the sequel of Six of Crows came to Israel, it came out just in the last couple months.
Really?
It took like ages. Like my friend like told me, yeah, I read it 5 years ago. I still waited the sequel. Sometimes you literally have to wait like 5 years for different, like even in a cliffhanger ones.
Oh, that would drive me nuts because I don't like waiting.
Yeah.
I'll wait for the entire trilogy or whatever to get published before I'll start reading it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, very similar insofar as there's a crow and there's a city, but I have to tell you, the Israeli one, I've seen that crow a lot. I think that's a clip art crow or the pose of a crow.
I thought like the background behind it, like the mountains, is
Yeah.
also cool. And also like in Israel, everything like we don't have the word it, so everything has like she or he. So crows in Hebrew is a male, so it said shisha orvim, not shesh orvim, because it's male, not female.
Interesting.
Male, six of crows. Yeah.
Well, that's language for you.
Yeah, Hebrew is gender-based language, and sometimes it's really hard.
I'm going to have to give it to the USA version. I think it's the wing. I like the background with the city sort of coming up in the wings. And like I said, the Israeli version, I've seen that crow in a lot of covers.
Yeah.
At least that pose. I like this book, by the way. Did you like it?
I actually never read it because for me, like, unfortunately, for me, popular books tend to get for me like or DNF or 1 or 2 stars, and that's why I'm scared to read hype books because I know I'm going to hate them, most of them, before they get super hype. Like my brain, like, yeah, I might hate it. Like, you know, some books like everybody's like, for me, like, I didn't like the Song of Achilles, and I told my friend, like, everybody like it. Why I don't like it?
Well, sometimes I'll read a book that's been hyped, and I don't think it's a bad book, but my expectations were so high. It's like, if it didn't meet those expectations, then I'm disappointed. Even if I would have said, oh, this is an okay book, if I didn't hear other. Anyway. Here's the next one. I haven't heard of this one. Vladimir.
I saw it one time in a book of my mom speak for some friends, but the weird part was like in Instagram I saw like the Hebrew edition. Said, oh, it's looked like here's the English edition, here's the Hebrew one, and also they said like it's a cup of thinking. The Washington Post said in Hebrew that's what it said. I read it and something like that, and some people, like a person said it, but also like in the Hebrew, like there's a triangles and above it said the name is actually the publisher. It said like it's fiction, which is prosa.
Okay.
In Hebrew.
Well, you know what I'm going to say. The USA version sucks, and I like the Israeli version so much. That illustration with the martini glass and a guy.
Yeah, somehow I like it more. Like it's like what the heck, Israel? You get a point from me one time.
And even if it's a romance, one of those romances with a shirtless man that you see a lot, I mean, this man is not in shape, so I don't know why they chose that model for the illustration.
I like it's about a female revenge somehow from somewhere.
I wouldn't have gotten that at all.
Yeah. And the final one is actually a Hebrew books, I would say, and also it's published by one of my friends actually that I met, and she actually translated her own book, and also I have the synopsis in my phone. I asked her, hey, can you explain me what the book is about so I can help you get more hype in this book?
Well, I tell you, I love both of these covers. It reminds me of, by the way, it's called Out of Tomorrow by Amelia Anderson. And it reminds me of the Golden Compass. When I first saw this, I thought it was the Golden Compass, but what's this book about?
According to my friend, I met her in an event recently, which was really cool because we talk about queer books, and also she told me that she wanted to make it more queer, but she made psychiatrist. And she told me about a brother and sister that belong to an old family. I just read it from my phone because it's in your phone, and I want to remember, but then I forgot to practice. And they're traveling in times in order to protect the time thingy and from everyone to get hurt. But then there's a person that escaped from jail and tried to kidnap the family, and with a powerful mix, and they're trying to stop her in order to return all the family. That's what I got from the synopsis. It's actually fantasy, which sounds interesting, and also said that I really want to read it, and I said, should I read it in Hebrew or should I read it in English? She said, I actually think you should read it in English because I actually try more to sell it in English, so it will be more perfect in English because I translated recently and I think it's more good in English. So I said, okay, we'll try in English because you were both, because in Israel sometimes you get a different translation to English, but she wrote herself like.
That's amazing. Cool. You did both the English and the
and also we talked about queer books and like why it's important in Israel, and we talked about it in the event and after the event, which was very fun, and also we talked still on Instagram, which is very fun.
Well, I have to tell you, I like both of these covers. I think they're both cool. It's a hard one.
Yeah. For me, like I love the Israel because it's how their clock work, because I love stuff to see how stuff work inside, but it's me being nerd and geek about stuff, about the clocks.
Yeah. I think I'm going with the Israeli version. The USA version is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I like it a lot, but I think the Israeli version at least it feels more three-dimensional. It feels like there's more movement. And I'm intrigued more by this weird device rather than it looks like.
Also, the book is available in Amazon, by the way. You can read it in Kindle as well. I checked. Visible for both in Kindle, which ebook for someone who want to read it. I decided I never read it. I want to, but for my friend, I want to help her because she's in publish both of them. One of them is in Israel is like less popular publishing house, but I want to get hype up because they say, hey, I really like talking to you. Here's a gift for you to help you more because I really want to help you.
Okay, well, I'll definitely have a link below.
Yeah.
This is the last one we have in. Guess what, Moon? Israel is one. So
Really, like, some of them are new releases. Like some of them, like in Israel, like sometimes it's like, for me it's really good. Like sometimes it's like, yeah, I don't know about that. But sometimes like, maybe something is interesting about Israeli stuff that I didn't notice before because I see it sometimes and like.
well, thank you so much for doing this, and this has
You're
been
welcome.
fun.
Me too.
So, and I'll have a link to your blog down below so people can find you. And are we going to do this again? Are there enough?
Yeah.
books? Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like it and subscribe below. And as usual, may all the books you read be blessed.
Good night.